Let us examine the absolute value of a number. Absolute value of 3 is equals to 3. The absolute notation is written as two vertical straight lines, and the number or the value is in between the two vertical straight lines. The absolute value of minus 3 is equals to 3. In general, the absolute value of minus a is equals to a. A can be any real number. It can be a whole number, a decimal, or a fraction. The absolute value of 0 is 0. Minus the absolute value of positive 3 is equals to minus 3. The minus is outside the absolute notation. It cannot be dropped. You cannot drop the minus sign. You have to copy it back in your answer. Minus the absolute value of minus 3 is equals to minus 3. There are two minus signs here, one inside the absolute notation and the other outside. You can drop this minus sign inside the absolute notation, but you cannot drop this minus sign that is outside. You need to copy this back in the solution. So minus the absolute value of minus 3 is equals to minus 3. The absolute value of 4 minus 5 is equals to the absolute value of minus 1, which is equals to 1. The absolute value of minus 4 plus bracket minus 3 is equals to 4 minus 3 is equals to 1. The absolute value of minus 4 here is equals to 4, and the value of plus bracket minus 3 is equals to minus 3. We cannot confuse between this round bracket and this absolute notation. The absolute notation is written as two vertical straight lines, and the number is in between the two vertical straight lines, whereas this here is a round bracket. They're not the same. The absolute value of a number is the distance that number is from 0 on the number line. Let us look at this number line. If we start from 0 and we walk to the right of 0, we walk 3 steps to the right. We can take a ruler, a measuring tape, a measuring device, or a measuring instrument to measure distance. For example, you could travel 3 miles, 3 kilometers, 3 meters, etc. But you can always measure distance, and distance is positive. If you walk to the left of 0, let's say we walk backwards 3 steps, we can also take a measuring tape, a ruler, or a measuring instrument to measure the distance we walked towards the left of 0. This distance is always positive. Distance is always positive. Although we associate the value of numbers to the left of the number line, to the left of 0 as being negative, nevertheless, the distance itself is positive. We can always measure distance. For example, if we walk backwards, we can say we walk 6 feet backwards. This is to explain absolute value. Absolute value is always positive, and distance is always positive. The absolute value of a number is the distance that number is from 0 on the number line. Let us look at additive inverse. 3 minus 3 is equals to 0. We can rewrite this as minus 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. This is obvious. It is also true that 3 minus 3 can be written as 3 plus bracket minus 3. 3 is the additive inverse of minus 3, and minus 3 is the additive inverse of 3. For any given number, a plus bracket minus a is equals to 0, and minus a plus a is equals to 0. This is the general representation of what we have been trying to explain here. A plus minus a is equals to 0. So if a is equals to 3, we'll have 3 plus minus 3 is equals to 0. A can be any number. It can be a decimal, a fraction, or a whole number. It can be any real number on the number line. This is the end of my presentation.